If you want to transform your life for the better, you absolutely must, right now, immediately, today, take 100% responsibility for your life experience. Now, my friend, this does not mean that you need to blame yourself for everything going on around you. You certainly have zero control of everything happening in the world, from what other people say to what the government does to just what's happening around you. Even the close people in your life, you don't have control of what they say or what they do or how they respond to you. You do have 100% control of how you perceive and respond. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 specific areas of your life that you need to take charge of now in order to take 100% responsibility for your life experience. This doesn't mean you control everything in your life. This just means you're going to control the controllables. You're going to control what you can, what you do have control over, so that you can influence the other things around you. And at the end of the day, no matter where you are in your life, no matter what's happening, we can all choose to perceive the world around us in any kind of way that we want. We and you right now, we can choose to give meaning to what's happening in our life. But if you want to give yourself a shot to make your life the best that it can be, to become the best version of yourself, then you really have to take charge of these specific 5 components or areas of your life right now. And the first thing you have to take charge of is your attitude. It sounds so simple. You hear it all the time, but are you doing it? Are you intentional? Maybe this is a simple reminder for you. But as Samuel Johnson said in a quote, people need to be reminded more often than they need to be instructed. So this is not a new concept for you, very likely, but maybe it's a powerful reminder that you just need right now. Because there might be crazy things going on in your life. There might be things happening in the world as you're watching that there likely are things going on in the world that you don't have control over and maybe you feel scared about or fearful about. But whatever you're doing, wherever you are, you can take charge of your attitude. What does that mean? That means you can choose how you show up. What's the energy that you bring? Are you going to have a positive attitude? Are you going to show up with great energy? Are you going to show up with optimism? Are you going to show up as someone that wants to smile and say hello and stand tall and strong and be a leader? You have the ability to take charge of your attitude. It starts with the decision to take 100% responsibility of your life experience. Because if you believe you can have 100% responsibility of your life experience, then you can make the choice to take charge of your attitude. The second area, take charge of your emotions. Now, one example that I gave in my book is that emotions are like your shadow. Did you ever spend time as a kid looking at the shadow out in the street or wherever you were, and you were standing outside, you saw your shadow, and you tried to run away from it, and you thought, man, I can't get away from this thing. And eventually you realize it's because your shadow goes with you everywhere you go. Well, your emotions are the exact same thing. They will never leave you. You can try to run, you can try to hide, but they're going to stay with you everywhere you go. So you might as well learn how to take charge of your emotions. Now, I'm not suggesting you can control every feeling that you have at every given moment, but you can influence the way that you feel. You can influence your emotions. You can choose in any given moment when you feel certain emotions bubbling up to feel a different kind of way. Now, emotions overtake all of us at times, but the question is not, do you immediately right now go from having zero sense of control of your emotions to totally wiping out all emotions that you don't want? That's not the question. The question is, can you start to make progress in taking charge of your emotional state and the emotions that you allow to run your life? Now, you certainly can live in a state of negativity and pessimism and fear and sadness and all of these negative feelings, these emotions that don't help you to propel yourself forward, but you absolutely have the chance to say, you know what? There are certain emotions that I want to experience on a more consistent basis. Some of those might include joy, optimism, hope, love, passion, excitement, enthusiasm, a higher level of energy, a sense of vibrancy and aliveness. It's these emotional states that will allow you to have a better life experience. And the third thing you really need to take charge of in your life is how you respond versus react. Let's think about this. There's a big difference between choosing how you respond to what someone else says or to what happens externally to you and just reacting. Instinctive reaction rarely is the best solution for solving a problem or overcoming a challenge or making a situation that's bad better. If you want to make situations better, if you want to influence situations and people around you to elevate to new levels, to be in a more positive state and existence, you have to choose to take charge of how you respond. Don't just react with those emotions like we talked about in point number 2. Don't let those emotions overtake you. Take charge of your emotions so that you can choose to take charge of how you respond. When you can start mastering your ability to consistently respond in the most effective ways to the other people in your life, personally and professionally, you're going to elevate your ability to live an extraordinary existence. The fourth thing you need to take charge of in your life, and my friend, this is a powerful one that I have to work on all the time, and I'd suggest you probably do too. What you say, and by the way, not just to yourself, but also to others, but also to yourself. Some people are better at one than the other. Some people say really encouraging things to themselves, and then they find themselves in situations with others, and they're more pessimistic. Some people are great at encouraging others, and they talk negatively to themselves, and they're not encouraging. In fact, they can be destructive with their self-talk. I don't know where you are on this spectrum, but for most of us, we struggle in both of these areas. At times, we're great in both areas or better in those areas than at other times. And sometimes we're just not the best in those areas. But you've got to take charge of what comes out of your mouth that you say to other people and what you internally speak to yourself. And sometimes what you speak aloud to yourself as well. Sometimes the most important conversations we can have are the conversations we have with ourselves when we need to be encouraged and inspired and supported and reminded that our dreams and our goals are possible, that we are enough, that we are capable, that we have what it takes to go to the next level and to make the difference in the world that we truly want to make. And you, my friend, you watching this video right now, you have incredible potential. You have virtually limitless potential. You're capable of so much more than you've ever even started to give yourself credit for. So let me remind you right now that your potential is virtually limitless. And what that means is you need to remind yourself on a consistent and regular basis that you are incredibly skilled at something. You have gifts and talents that are extraordinary. You can do remarkable things. You can do outstanding things in this world, but you need to speak that into your life. You can listen to videos like this, and I hope you'll listen to and watch more of my videos so you can stay encouraged and inspired. But you also need to say things to yourself that encourage and inspire you. And one great way to practice encouraging yourself with what you say is to do that for other people. Because very often we can find ourselves saying things encouraging and inspiring to other people when we won't say it for ourselves. I mean, one of the best ways to figure out what you should say to yourself in a challenging situation is to say, what would I tell a friend who is going through this situation? What would I say to somebody who I really cared about who's going through this exact same problem? And likely you'd say something different to a friend. You'd be more encouraging. You'd be more hopeful and optimistic. But you probably wouldn't say that to yourself initially. But that's why I'm telling you, you have to take charge of what you say to yourself and what you say to others. And this fifth one is huge. It's vital for your long-term success. You must take charge of your future. Take charge of your future. Take charge and own what you want to create in this world. Again, let me say it. Your potential is incredible. Now, are you believing in that potential? Are you looking into the future, having a vision for what you're capable of, and getting excited about your future? If you choose to own your future, if you choose to take charge of your future, what that means is you're choosing to believe in your greatest potential. And if you choose to believe in your greatest potential, something special happens and you start to tap into and access and unleash that potential into the world. And you start to use your gifts and your talents that you were given at birth and you've been blessed with along your life's journey to learn and to grow so that you can use those gifts and talents to help other people, to serve humanity, and to elevate the world in a really positive way. So my friend, I hope you'll start to do these 5 things. And if you want to stay encouraged and inspired, go and watch this video right now to continue to stay motivated and fired up to go after your big dreams and big goals so you can experience your greatest potential. Take 100% responsibility of your life. And no matter what challenges and obstacles you're going through, just keep going.